Novocaine opens with a guy who should be the last person anyone would expect to become an action hero. Nathan Caine is not tough, dangerous, or even especially confident. He is quiet, careful, and painfully routine. He works as an assistant manager at a credit union in San Diego, lives alone, plays online games at night with a friend he has never met in person, and tries to move through life without getting hurt. The strange part is that getting hurt is the one thing his body does not understand. Nathan was born with a rare condition that keeps him from feeling physical pain, which sounds like a superpower until the movie shows how lonely and risky that really is. He can burn himself, cut himself, break bones, and never feel the warning that tells other people to stop. So he has spent his life wrapped in caution, eating soft food so he does not damage his mouth, checking his body for injuries, and keeping the rest of the world at a distance. That careful little world starts to crack because of Sherry Margrave, the new teller at the credit union. Nathan has been quietly crushing on her for months, but he is too shy to act on it. Sherry is warmer, bolder, and clearly interested in him. At first he dodges every opening she gives him. Then one of his regular customers, an older man named Earl, talks about the love he shared with his late wife and makes Nathan realize that being careful forever is not the same as living. So when Sherry invites him to lunch, Nathan finally says yes. Their first real conversation is awkward in a sweet way. He tells her about his condition, and instead of acting scared, she listens. When he admits that he has never really eaten solid food because he is afraid of hurting himself, Sherry gets him to try cherry pie. It is a tiny moment, but to Nathan it feels huge. He is not just tasting pie, he is tasting a part of life he has avoided. That night gets even better. Nathan goes to an art show featuring Sherry's work, and afterward the two of them end up together. On the way they run into a bully from Nathan's school days, the kind of guy who targeted him because everyone knew he could not feel pain. The nickname Novocaine came from that cruelty. Sherry turns the moment around by tricking the bully into taking a shot that is really ghost pepper sauce, and for once Nathan gets to laugh instead of shrink. By the end of the night, he and Sherry sleep together, and Nathan wakes up the next morning feeling like his whole future may have changed. Then the movie pulls the rug out from under him. On Christmas Eve, three armed men dressed as Santa Claus storm the credit union. Their leader is Simon Greenlee, and from the second he enters the building it is clear this is not a sloppy robbery. Simon demands the vault code from Nathan's manager, Nigel. When Nigel refuses, Simon kills him on the spot. Sherry is grabbed and threatened, and Simon turns his gun toward Nathan. To keep her alive, Nathan gives up the vault code. The robbers take the money, drag Sherry out as a hostage, and blast their way through the police response outside. Bullets fly, officers go down, and Nathan uses his belt as a tourniquet to save a wounded cop. Then he steals the officer's gun and police car and takes off after the robbers. The chase immediately becomes messy. The getaway vehicles split up, and Nathan ends up following one robber, a thug named Ben, into a restaurant kitchen. This fight is the first real showcase of what Nathan's condition means when he is forced into violence. He is terrified, clumsy, and clearly not built for combat, but he also keeps going through things that would stop anyone else. At one point, Ben's gun falls into a vat of hot oil, and Nathan reaches in with his bare hand to grab it. His flesh cooks, but he cannot feel it. The fight ends when Nathan shoots Ben in the head, and the shock of taking a life hits him hard enough that he vomits. Now Nathan is a bank employee, a murder suspect, and the only person actively chasing the men who took Sherry. He calls the one person he trusts, his online gaming friend Roscoe Dixon. Roscoe has never met Nathan in person, but he knows him better than almost anyone. Nathan sends him a photo of Ben's tattoo, hoping Roscoe can help track where it was done. Roscoe could have written Nathan off as a lunatic the second he heard about the robbery and the dead body. Instead, he stays on the line and starts helping. Meanwhile, the police are trying to understand the bloodbath at the credit union. Detective Mincy Langston and her partner Coltrane Duffy quickly realize Nathan has vanished with a police car and one of the robbers is dead. To them, it looks possible that Nathan was involved from the start. Mincy manages to reach him by phone, and Nathan pleads his case. He tells her he is trying to save Sherry because he does not believe the police can reach her in time. Mincy does not trust him, but she hears the panic and sincerity in his voice. Nathan needs help for his injuries, so he goes to Earl, the old customer who knows enough to dig a bullet out of Nathan's arm. Earl is horrified but also grateful when Nathan hands him a stack of stolen cash to help save his home and shop. Nathan is bleeding, hunted, and barely holding himself together, but he still remembers the man who treated him with kindness. Roscoe traces the tattoo to a tattoo artist named Zeno, and Nathan heads there next. The scene at the parlor is ugly and chaotic. Nathan is outmatched again, but he has learned one useful thing already. If he cannot outfight people, he can outlast them. He gets slammed through glass, leaves shards in his hands, and keeps coming until he forces enough information out of Zeno to identify Ben and get closer to the gang. At the same time, the robbers regroup at an auto shop. This is when the story drops its first major twist. Sherry is not only connected to them, she is part of the robbery. Simon is her adoptive brother, and she got close to Nathan on purpose in order to get access to the vault code. That revelation should turn her into a simple villain, but the movie refuses to make it that easy. Sherry clearly did not expect Simon to murder Nigel. She is disturbed by the violence, and her feelings for Nathan have become real. Nathan uses the new information from Zeno to find Ben's home, but the place has been turned into a death trap. Ben's brother Andre has wired it with booby traps, and Nathan gets an arrow shot into his leg before being yanked upside down in a snare trap. Hanging there helplessly, he calls Roscoe again. Roscoe hesitates because by now the whole situation sounds insane, but Nathan finally says what he usually keeps buried. Roscoe is his only real friend, and Sherry matters to him. That honesty gets Roscoe moving. Andre reaches the house before Roscoe does. He knows Ben is dead and wants revenge. What follows is one of the film's darkest but funniest stretches. Because Nathan realizes Andre is trying to torture him and starts pretending the pain is working. He screams on cue, buys time, and manipulates Andre long enough for Roscoe to arrive. Roscoe does not suddenly become an action hero either. He panics, improvises, and helps turn the fight into a scramble that ends with Andre dead after Nathan drives the arrow in his own leg through Andre's skull. By now, Nathan looks like he has been run through a grinder. He is burned, cut, shot, punctured, and bruised in ways he cannot fully track, but he is still moving. The police catch up to the house moments later. Roscoe deliberately distracts them, allowing Nathan to escape and continue after Simon and Sherry. Nathan reaches the auto shop and finally comes face to face with Simon. This is where the emotional knife goes in deeper than any physical wound. Simon tells Nathan the truth about Sherry. She was supposed to seduce him, get close, and help deliver the vault code. Nathan is crushed. Sherry admits it started that way, but she also confesses that her feelings changed. She did fall for him. Simon is done pretending the job is salvageable. He prepares to kill Nathan, and Sherry tries to stop him. Before Simon can finish it, Detective Duffy arrives and shoots Simon. For a second it looks like the chase might finally end. Instead, Simon shoots Duffy dead, wounds Mincy, kills the paramedics nearby, and hijacks the ambulance carrying Nathan. That pushes the film into its final stretch. Sherry, Mincy, and Roscoe go after the ambulance while Nathan wakes up inside it, handcuffed and half-conscious. He dislocates his own thumb to slip free, then grabs the defibrillator paddles and shocks Simon, causing the ambulance to crash. The wreck should end everything, but Simon survives and drags the final fight out into one last savage showdown. Nathan is exhausted and badly damaged. Simon is stronger, meaner, and now furious. He beats Nathan down and snaps his arm so badly that the bone tears through the skin. Sherry arrives and tries to intervene, but Simon turns on her too. In that moment, Nathan sees exactly what she has chosen. Inside the wrecked ambulance, Nathan finds an adrenaline injector. He uses it to force his body into one final burst of action, then turns his own shattered arm into a weapon. In the film's nastiest image, he drives the exposed bone up through Simon's jaw and into his brain, killing him instantly. After that, the tank finally runs dry. Nathan collapses. He wakes up in a hospital weeks later after being placed in a medically induced coma. His whole body is in a cast. Roscoe is there, proving the internet friend was the real thing all along. Mincy visits too. She explains that Nathan should be facing years in prison for everything he did, including the stolen police car, the bodies left behind, and all the destruction along the way. But because he saved an officer during the robbery and later helped stop Simon, he gets a deal. 6 months of house arrest and probation instead of a ruined life. The ending does not try to pretend everything can go back to normal. Too much blood has been spilled for that. Nigel is dead, Duffy is dead, Nathan himself has crossed lines he can never uncross. But the movie does give him something he did not have at the start, a life with real connection in it. 1 year later, Nathan is still gaming with Roscoe, but now there is an ease to his life that did not exist before. He visits Sherry in prison where she still has months left on her sentence. Their relationship has survived everything, which sounds absurd on paper but feels earned by the time the movie gets there. Nathan brings cherry pie, the same food Sherry used to pull him out of his shell on their first date. Nathan spent most of his life unable to feel pain, and because of that he avoided almost everything else. By the end he has been torn apart, lied to, hunted, and nearly killed, but he has also truly lived. So Novocaine ends as a wild, bloody action comedy with a surprisingly sweet heart. Nathan Caine does not become a hero because he cannot feel pain. He becomes one because he keeps choosing to care anyway, even when every good reason in the world tells him to run.